And right here we'll get our acceleration, see how that goes. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for providing us with this truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Elevation, we have a naturally aspirated 5.3 liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 16 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 355 horsepower and then 383 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Elevation. So first and foremost, a lot of you might think that this is actually like venting, but it's just a little piece of black trim. There's like just a little bit of a gap, and I think it's just cool that they accent that to make it look like venting from a distance. And then the whole grille is blacked out here on the Elevation, including the GMC logo. And then you get full LED lights, even though this is kind of more like your entry-level package. Fog lights as well. You've got parking sensors all along the front, and then you've got tow hooks. So like it's already got all the same stuff you get on like the fully loaded models on the exterior, even though this is kind of like your entry-level model. Around the side here, you've got two 75mm tires on 20-inch wheels in the front and in the rear as well. And I actually really like this stock tire setup here on the Elevation. So you can see the tires are a little bit more aggressive. You actually could do some light off-roading with this, and then they're going to do great in the snow as well. And then just the overall blacked out theme of the wheels, I think goes really good with this particular color combination, because you've got kind of like the blacked out theme and then you have the white exterior color. Just looks really good in general. And then you can see you've got the 5.3 liter V8 badge there, so that everyone knows what engine you have. Elevation badge there on the side, and then I like that they've got the black trim at the top of the mirror. Again, you've got the black contrast against the white truck, which just looks really good in general. But if we take a few steps back here, you guys can kind of see a full side view on the Elevation. Over the bed of the Elevation scene. So you've got the plastic covering here on the tailgate itself, and then you've got LED bed lights here in the back, and then a full power outlet just down below, and then you've got a spray and liner for the rest of the bed. And then this is the shorter size beds, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of size with the truck. But yeah, that's everything for the bed. Now let's go over the rest of the rear of the Sierra. So you guys can see that you still get the LED lights here in the rear, and then I love how they even blacked out the GMC logo on the back as well. And then you've got the little steps here on the side of the bumper, and you can see you still have those like wedge exhaust tips here at the bottom. And then here's the receiver hitch. If you guys are wondering, towing capacity is about 9,200 pounds, and then the payload is about 1,700 pounds on this particular truck. But other than that, that is everything for the back. Now let's take a look at the door panel here in the rear of the Elevation. So you actually still get soft padding where you're going to rest your arms, and then they did this really cool high gloss wood trim. I just love the texturing on it. Obviously it's smooth to the touch, but just like the look of it, it's just really unique. And then coming over to the seats, yes, you do get cloth seats here in the Elevation. They actually have white contrasted stitching that goes through the gray seats. You still get the extra storage behind the seats, and then also underneath the seats as well. And then this one comes with the rubber floor mats here in the back. And then let's pop in. So this one has side steps, so it's really easy to step in back here. If you're wondering, I'm 5'11", I've got a good amount of headroom, and then legroom here is really solid as well. Couple cup holders here in the back, and then you can see you've got like a USB and a full 12 volt here in the rear as well. And then we've got some more cup holders, and I guess you could kind of like use this as a mini armrest, but you have a million cup holders back here, which I mean is good because America. Now let's take a quick look at the door panel here in the front of the Elevation. So again, you've got soft touch where you're going to rest your arms, and then more of that really cool wood trim. All of the window controls, mirror controls in this little area. And then you've got your door lock and unlock controls, and then the signature GMC door handles. You got the speaker for the Bose sound system, and then coming to the seats at the front, again, same cloth seats with the white contrast stitching. Bolsters are a little bit bigger here for the front seats. And then there's your adjustments there on the side of the seat. Here's what the pedal layout looks like, and then you've got the little parking brake right here, and then we've got the light controls in this little area. This is for the cargo light, and the fog lights are just right there. Drive line selects, you've got your auto, your 2-wheel high, your 4-wheel high, your 4-wheel low, and then you have the tow mode to the side, and then you have your drive modes to the other side. And there's one more look before we pop in. Now here is the steering wheel in the Sierra Elevation. So first and foremost, you've got the smooth leather all around, and you've got the black stitching there in the center, so it just all matches. And then here are the controls to the center stack. You've got your voice command phone controls, and then over on the other side, you've got your cruise controls, your heated steering wheel control button, and then there are radio controls on the back of the steering wheel. They're just little buttons that you can press to actually control the radio. And then we also have a little stock for the windshield wiper, and then this does come with a column shifter. So these little buttons are to shift the gears yourself, and then pretty easy to get it in and out of gear. And that's all for the steering wheel area. Now here is the center instrument cluster. You can see that you've got a bunch of analog gauges, and then you do have that screen right there front and center, and that just gives you different bits of information. So you've got a little home tab right there, which just has a little digital speedo, but then you have different information on the vehicle, your music, your navigation, phones, and then your settings tab as well for the center screen. Pretty straightforward. And then you guys remember, you have that drive mode select and that tow select. So move it over to the left side, and that'll put on the tow haul mode. Move it over to the left side again, and that'll take it out of it. And then you have the drive mode select over to the right side, so you just twist that, and you've got the normal, sport, and then the off-road mode with the truck. Here is the infotainment system. Obviously gives us a warning before going into it, and this does have a plastic covering over it, but you guys can see response time even through the plastic covering is really good. You get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with this screen, and then there is the little camera system. So you've got the camera tab, or if you pop it into reverse, this will pop up as well. But you can see that you can just do it for like a trailer, so it's just one straight line, or you can have the regular grid pattern, which when you turn the steering wheel, the lines do turn with it. And then you do have the zoom in function, so you can get like right onto the receiver hitch so that you can hook up to the trailer all by yourself. Now, just down below, we've got the analog controls for that infotainment system. We've got our analog climate controls here. It is a dual zone climate in the Elevation. And then other than the two random blank switches here on the sides, we've got a bunch of controls down here. So we've got the hill descent control. This is for the power outlets to turn it on, your stability control, your hazard lights. This is to drop down the tailgate, your auto stop start, and then parking sensors. And you guys probably noticed this does come with heated seats as well. Trailer brake controls are integrated down here. And then you got your little USB and a 12 volts. And then yes, the Elevation does come with the full power outlet as well. Now here's the whole like center console area. So you've got this little storage thing here, and by the way, you can just pick this off if you want. Pretty interesting. A couple cup holders right here, and then there is the center console, and opening up you can see storage space in here is pretty good. Again, you've got a couple of USBs and an auxiliary in that. And then closing that up, we've got the glove box over here, which again, pretty normal glove box. Actually identical to what they have in the Chevys, which is interesting. And then you've got the stitching all around on the dash right there. Up top, we've got universal garage openers, and then this button here is to open up the power rear sliding window. And you guys can see it's pretty quick with the opening and closing function. And you can get a sunroof, just a regular like single sunroof for the front passengers. This one doesn't have it, but that's all for the front. Oh, almost forgot to mention, this one does have a little mirror dimmer, but yeah. Now that we're done going over the interior on the Sierra Elevation, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Sierra Elevation stickers for about $56,000 for any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take it out and see how it drives. Well, let's quickly talk about visibility here in the Sierra Elevation before we set off. So you can see visibility over the hood. It's actually really good. And there's your visibility through both of the mirrors. And then here's your visibility all throughout the rear. So just in general, visibility is actually pretty solid. And that all being said, let's set off. We are initially setting off here in the Sierra Elevation with the X31 package, and I actually think this package is really cool. It's kind of like a budget AT4 in a sense, right? You're not paying for like the crazy AT4 package, so obviously you're not getting the 2-inch lift and all that, and you're not getting the tires that are as aggressive, but you still get a little bit more off-road capability with the off-road shocks that this X31 package comes with. But initially setting off, in terms of the on-road performance, this doesn't ride any rougher compared to a standard Sierra, even with this X31 package, so I'm not noticing any difference there. And right here we'll get our acceleration, see how that goes. Yeah, this 5.3 does a pretty good job from an acceleration standpoint. You guys know that I prefer the 6.2, so if you're able to fork out a little bit of extra money for the 6.2, I definitely recommend it. And fuel economy isn't that different from the 5.3 to the 6.2. I believe the 6.2 just gets 1 mile per gallon less on the highway, but I'm pretty sure the around town fuel economy is about the same. And this road's still a little bit under construction, so I guess we get our off-roading, not real off-roading. But yeah, overall, ride quality is really smooth on this so far. I definitely don't feel any difference with those shocks. I'm sure that I'd feel that on the off-road, right? The truck's gonna be a lot smoother on the off-road compared to a standard Sierra. It's just gonna be a little bit more composed overall with these off-road shocks. And so let's actually get into summing things up on this elevation package. So from an exterior styling perspective, I think that GMC's nailed it. All their trucks look good from their base model all the way up to their fully loaded AT4s and Denali's. So they've done an amazing job from that perspective. Now, in terms of the interior styling and everything, I think the styling's pretty good. I think it's interesting to see a GMC with cloth seats, but obviously this is kind of like your entry level truck, and the price point that this is at actually puts it at a price point that where it should be with being an entry level truck. So it's solid from that perspective as well. And then I think this off-road package is pretty good. So like as an overall value, I think it's pretty good, because like this is going to compete against like a Ram 1500 Bighorn with the off-road package, or a Ford XLT FX4 with the off-road package. And so from a price point standpoint and everything, it's right where it needs to be, and it has all the equipment that it needs to have. So I would check out one of these elevations. Definitely worth it. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for providing us with this 1500 elevation. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.